All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. My name again is Jon Balter. I'm with Seamless Solutions. I am the Chief Operating Officer over here at Seamless, and that puts me in charge of our IT and operations and copier division and service and pretty much everything. Head cook and bottle washer, you could say. But one thing that I specialized in is a while ago, I became a Microsoft facilitator for their Outlook and 365 products. And so I like to share those through these webinars that we put on. If you want to get invited to more, just send me an email and I will put you on a list and we'll keep sending you those invites. They are free. We try to put on one every month and we go over different topics. So this month we're talking about the Outlook and Outlook products. So just a few things about Seamless before we get started. We've been around since 35 years now. We started in '85, so we're definitely over that mark. Thousands of satisfied customers. We've been doing this for a while. We've got lots of technology partners. We are Microsoft Champion partners and Microsoft Certified Small Business and Cloud partners. Award-winning prizes in both printers and copiers, and we have lots of different solutions. So if you're looking for a company to handle your IT or office equipment needs, please let me know or send us an email and be happy to help you. Just a little bit more about the company. 50 employees strong. We have two major flavors of our remote support for our IT, which we have our remote, which is everything that's remote is covered, and then we have our complete, which includes the on-site service. You know, we try to align our IT with your business needs, so you're not fighting fires. You're not becoming the guy that everybody calls when there's an IT problem. They call us instead, and that really helps free you up to do the business that you're in the business to do. You know, I'm pretty sure most of you are not in the IT business space, so handling IT problems is not your primary concern. Some of our primary partners are Dell, HP, Lenovo, of course, Microsoft, VMware, Datto, Cisco, right? So all the big names, all the big hardware providers, all the big software providers. One of the things that we do for a lot of customers is we do go in and do, this has become quite, I wanted to put this on a slide for you guys today, is just because this is something we end up doing a lot for customers as we move in and they have these very beautiful network closets, and we take them from looking like that to cleaning them up and looking like that. And that's actually a real case scenario. So you can see how we can turn it into these beautiful, nice, neat, easy to use places. So today we're going to do one of our trainings. We also offer, back when COVID ends, we'll be doing our Microsoft immersion experiences, which is an in-person training class. And then we also have customized training classes if there's something in particular you're in need for. Those 365 immersion classes are at no charge, and we usually do hold 2 of them a year. If you have any information or you want to get in touch with me, here's my information, Jon Balter. There's my telephone number. There's my email address, jbalter@seamlesssolutions.com. You can definitely find me on LinkedIn. All right. So now that we are done with all of that, why don't we hop into what we came here for? Sorry, my window's a little small here. There it is. So Outlook, right? I'm connected to a virtual computer so that I can mess around with somebody's Outlook. And I am connected right now as a different user, but they have everything that I need. So I am pretending to be Meg today. And Meg, like most of us, gets these great group emails that bounce around the company. So somebody said, hey, in the break room, guess what, guys? We have some donuts. Would anybody like some donuts? And, you know, of course, everybody's got to respond to that, right? So everybody's got to say something, right? Awesome. Hey, get me one. Hey, can I get one? Hey, you know, maybe you don't want to be eating that. You're on a diet, whatever the responses are. But we get these group emails that get bounced around, and This one's an all employee one, but it can be just a small group, but you want to clean those up. Maybe you just want to see those in a different way or form. One of the nice things that Microsoft has done is that wherever there's a email that is an email below, I don't need both emails. I just need the last one in the chain. So that's what this cleanup button here is for, okay? So everybody's always wondering what cleanup actually does. What it does is it'll eliminate the duplicate emails for me. So I can click on cleanup here, and then I can clean up just this conversation if I don't know what I want to clean up, or I can clean up the whole folder at one time. So right now I've got 57 unread emails. And just to make it fun, let's make these back to unread. Oh, sorry about that. Mark them as unread. Now let's just do a cleanup on this folder. So we got 63. Let's see what the cleanup does. And it'll move the redundant emails to my deleted folder. So it doesn't completely get rid of them, but it does move them off to that deleted folder, but only redundant emails. So I'm going to click cleanup here. And you can see now my donut emails have reduced down to just 3, which is really nice. I don't have all those emails cluttering it up. So now I was at 67, now I'm at 67 emails got deleted out of there. So there were 7 redundant emails in this email box for me. And they got moved over to my deleted folder over here. So there's the 3 donut emails that got removed out of there and got rid of. And then there were some lunch meeting emails, obviously back and forth. So what's another way I can handle this, this whole string of emails back and forth? Well, in View, I can turn on conversations. I really love conversation mode because it really helps clean up my email box. So I'm going to turn on conversation mode. I'm just going to say do all the mailboxes, and now it's turned on. Now what that's going to do is it's going to add this little chevron so that I can see just the emails that are unread, and then once they're folded together, I don't see them anymore. So you can see I can open them and I can close them. One of the other nice features about this is that if I go to home and I, let's just reply back, stop sending me emails, right? If I want to see that sent folder, when I expand it, I can see that Meg, that's me, sent, stop sending that email. So I get to see what's in my sent folder and what's in my inbox, because this is just my inbox. I'm just looking in my inbox, but I'm able to see those sent folders when I expand that, right? I have to doubly click on it. Once expands it, and then twice gives me the sent ones. And you can see that chevron kind of changing directions in there. So it's a nice feature in there. One of the other features I did was, if you see here, Miss Graham is, she's in purple. Well, why is Miss Graham in purple? Well, I wanted to know when something came in for Miss Graham. And so I wanted all of her emails to have the text color of purple on them. So let's say I wanted to do the same thing for anything that contained the word Azure in the title, right? Maybe that's what I want to look for, or in the subject line, I want to look for Azure, and I want to make those emails, instead of being purple, let's make them a different color. So real easy task to do. All I'm going to do is click on View to start with. I'm going to click on View Settings, and then that's this conditional formatting right here. And if you go in there, believe it or not, there's already conditional formats that are come out of the box for everybody. And you can see I created that one, and I wrote red on it. So I made a mistake there. It should have been purple. I was probably going to do red, and then I ended up doing purple, but I can change it. And then I can add a new one, right? And we're going to look for Azure and change color to red. We're going to use red for this time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want the color to be red. I can, let's even make it like semi-bold. And then I just come into my conditions down here and I tell it, look for a specific word in the subject field only, look for Azure. and say, okay, and okay again, and okay. And now everything that has the word Azure in the subject line, you can see it's red and semi-bold. It's not quite bold, but it's a little bold. So that helps me find what I'm looking for and makes it really easy to identify things. Notice that this did come from Microsoft Azure down here, but because in the subject line it didn't have Azure, it had user at risk detected, it did not change that to red. But it does make it easy when you're scrolling through things to see, oh, hey, this one's important. So you could change your boss or, you know, a fellow coworker, when they send you emails, they're super important. You want them to be a different color. Really nice and easy task to do. One of the other things is sometimes your ribbon bar isn't the way you want it. So sometimes when you come in, you know, your ribbon bar is popping up or disappearing, you know, it's not there. I don't see a ribbon bar. By the way, this is the ribbon. If you ever didn't know that in Microsoft, that top piece is your ribbon. And so you can have the ribbon where it disappears. And if I want it to stay, all I have to do is double click it. So if I double click it, now it's going to stay. It's pinned there. If I want to make it small, I can use this little chevron over here. A chevron is just an arrow. So I just click that little chevron. It's going to switch between that small mode, right, where it's shrunk up, to a large mode. Makes it really nice to, if you're on a device where you have a small screen and you need some more real estate, to add that real estate back to you. So that's one of the really big things that I use a lot is I'll change my ribbon bar up. Since we're talking about view and conversation, you know, let's talk about a couple other things in the view. So view is a really powerful tool. It lets you, you know, change the way things look. One thing, if you have a small screen or you have really good eyes and you want to tighten things up, use tighter spaces. See how it shrunk everything up a little bit here? Or I can expand it back out. So now there's a little more gap in between these things. So each email now has a little bigger gap. My message preview, like if I want to turn that off altogether, you can turn it off, right? All the mailboxes. Notice how now it's just the email. Or I can turn it on and just say, give me one line. So now it's going to give me that first line out of that email. If you want, you can do up to 3 lines there. It does get a little cumbersome if you're, like you can see now it's starting to pull like the from and the other information, since that's the next line. So usually I just do 1 line there. But if you want more, it's all up to you. If you ever want to reset your view, you can always reset it right here. So if you ever get messed up or anything like that, you can always change it. One of the nice things is to change it to single mode, and that'll just show you each email individually. I'm going to change it back to compact. Let's say you want to see your calendar on every screen. Well, that's really easy. That's your to-do bar over here. You can add your calendar, and then you can see your calendar off to your left. This is by default turned off now. It used to be a standard piece that was on all the time, but it got turned off. Your reading panel, some people like top bottom. Some people don't want to have anything. They just want to have their emails and then they'll open them. You can change that at any time. I'm going to change it back to the right. By the way, you can move all these things. If you've never done that, it's really nice. You can just get it to the distance you want. If you want to, you can also shrink this side up, expand it out. Now, since I expanded it and I didn't pin it yet, when I move off of it, it shrinks it back. But when I click on it, it doesn't do anything. But when I click that little chevron, it's going to bring it back. If I want to leave it out there, I just pin it and puts it back in place. Really easy. So just some things you can click on. They're not changing your Outlook or messing with your emails or anything like that. Sorry, I'm just peeking over to make sure I'm checking all the different things. I've got a whole list of stuff in here to talk to you guys about. So we're going to go over a lot of cool things today. Learn about all kinds of fun stuff. So we went over conditional formatting. You can actually do conditional formatting in your calendar too. I've got a couple conditional formats out here, so you can see that you can make things different colors. One way you can do that just on the fly is using categories. So if I change the category, it changes it too. So it's a great way to flip back and forth between colors. If you don't want to do a condition, you just wanted one thing, you can do it that way too. So if I needed to mark something as a category, it's nice to be able to flip it over to that category. And you can have multiple categories on any one item. Categories are just used for searching and things like that. It does just make it a little easier. Let's go back to the mail. So I'm not sure how many of you guys are using Teams, but one nice thing is this button right here, share to Teams. So this lets me take an email that maybe got sent from one person, and instead of emailing it to somebody else, I can share it in Teams. And maybe I want to share it now with Pradeep right here. So I can just send it to him. I can put a new message. Hey, check it out. Donuts, right? Whatever the message is, and then share. And then if I want to see that, I can click on it in Teams, and you can actually see I've sent him this message a couple times. So, and then he can respond to it. We can text on it. We can add emojis to it. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, sad, I can't eat donuts. Whatever message you want to put on there. And so it makes it really easy to get in and out of Teams from Outlook. One other way that you can do that is when you highlight over somebody, when their name pops up, this little bar right here is to send an IM, and it's going to open it in Teams, and you can start a conversation. You know, hi. Thanks for the donut email, right? So you can start a conversation right from your Outlook, right into Teams. You don't have to go into Teams and find that person and send it. By the way, you can have Teams set up so that it works both inside your organization and outside your organization. So it makes it really nice and easy. By the way, that conversation that we talked about to begin with, I know there's no Q&A here, but one of my big questions is how does it know whether or not it belongs in this conversation or not? It's because of the subject line. So once you change a subject line, it starts a new conversation. So it's subject line, and then there's a back end piece in Outlook that says this is the same string of emails, so it keeps it in the subject line for you. So let's say we're bouncing back emails back and forth, and you know, I'm just like, hey, we just need to have a meeting about this. Instead of saying, hey, we need to have a meeting about this, I can reply with a meeting. So we all know about the reply button, the reply all forward, right? Oh, my screen locked up there, sorry. There we go. We know about reply, or reply all, right? That hits everybody. We have forward, right? We could send that to people. But what about these three buttons right here, right? So let's talk about them. So reply with meeting. So if I was talking to Nestor here and I'm like, hey, let's just have a meeting, I can just reply with meeting. It's going to take that subject line, pop it in there, all the people in there, and add them that need to be on that meeting or that were in that email string. And it's going to create that meeting for me. And then I can pick a time. Now, if it's internal, I can go over to the assistant over here and I can see whether or not anybody has any problems or issues with the meeting. But really easy, I can then send the email. It's going to schedule a meeting. It's going to put it on the calendar for everybody, you know, at 11 o'clock on Wednesday or tomorrow. I don't know what time zone we're in with this virtual machine, but obviously not central, but that's okay. So then I can send it, you know, and it's going to say, hey, you didn't put a location. Do you want to put a location on there? Absolutely. And I just noticed that this still has the old Skype for Business meeting on there. It's going to tell me it doesn't exist. I'm not going to go through all the work to set up Teams, but normally there's a Teams button right there. Quick and easy to send an email like that. So what are the other replies? Well, we already kind of went over that instant messenger. So that's a way to reply in instant messenger just to the one person. Or if it's a multitude, right, I can reply to everybody in there. One of the nice features that people don't use a whole lot is if you have calling, you can add the calling feature, but one that everybody has is forward attachment. So forward as an attachment is a really cool feature. So if I want to take this email, not reply directly to the email, but I want to use that email in the reply, so I want to send it as an attachment, I just click on that. It's going to create an attachment for that file, and then I can send it to anybody. Hey, Patty, don't do this anymore. Don't send emails like this. You notice how it's also autofilling for me, right? It's trying to think about the way I'm gonna type, and the more I type, the more it gets me, right? So real easy and nice, and then I can send that. Away it goes. All right. So one of the other things that I have created here is I've created a folder called Action Required, right? So I've got a folder called Action Required. Well, how do I create a folder like that, John? Well, of course I'm going to tell you how to create a folder like that. That's simple and easy. Let's go over that real quick. So you can always create a folder inside your inbox, right? So new folder, customer files, right? It's a pretty common one, right? There's customer files. Now it's inside my box. But if I want to create one outside of my mailbox, I just click on the top and I can create a new folder called, oh, I clicked the wrong button. New folder, and then I can create a new folder. So let's call this demo for class. And so now I have it there. If I click up here, I can organize A to Z. It's going to reorganize everything alphabetically. I don't want action items there. I want it moved up. Demo for class, I want that moved up. So I want those two there. So everybody knows what this, unread email stuff is, right? We've all seen this before. I've got 56 unread emails in my inbox. But what if I wanted on this action folder, I didn't want to know how many unread emails. I wanted to know how many total emails I had. Like, how many emails do I have in this folder that require action that I need to work on? I've got 2 of them in there. How many, but when I look at it, I can't see it. Well, did you know that you can right click, go to properties, and then right here, look at this. Look at this. Show number of unread emails or show total number of items, right? So I can click apply and OK. And now you can see there's a little bracket and it says 2 on it. So now it's got that 2 on there. It's telling me how many items. If I move, let's come over here. We'll move one of these in there. Now it's 3. Move another one, 4. Right? I come in here, and it doesn't care if they're in the same chain or not. It doesn't matter. If they're stacked or not, it's still counting the total number of items. So let's say I wanted to get rid of this one, delete this one, bam, brings it down. The nice part about after we start doing things as conversations is when I want to move them around as a group, I can click on the upper level and move them together. So just some really cool features there, right? I mean, that's pretty awesome stuff. Easy to do, so you can create new folders like that and move stuff around and have as many folders as you want, right? So it keeps it so hey, I got 4 action items in this folder. I got to deal with them. Once they're out, I want to move them off. One of my biggest suggestions for you is don't use your inbox as a big stack of emails, okay? You don't do that at home. You didn't do that with physical email. I'm pretty sure your mailbox at your house does not work as a file folder system for you. Your inbox, where the post office drops off all your mail, is usually a place where stuff comes in and moves out. So, if I'm done with something, move it off or delete it. You know, don't leave it sitting in that box. This way, all that you have in your inbox should be things that you're currently working on. It makes it a lot easier for you in organization to never leave your inbox full of stuff. And this way, you know what's going on. You can always follow up on stuff in other boxes, create follow-up tasks and things like that. So, you know, I can flag stuff here, right? And then I can follow up with that later. So also in view, there's the tasks, right? So I can find those tasks that I need to get done. So there's that task. And then I can double click on it. It's the same email. When I'm done with it, right, I can take that checkbox off. Boom, now it's a check and it disappears over here. See, gone. Or you can use folders, right? I need to work on this, so I'll move it over here. I need to work on this, and it's super important. Flag it up for when I need to work on it. Well, when do I need to work on it? So I right click there and I say, not until next week. And now it's marked off for next week. So just some easy items there for you to think about is, you know, how do I want to do that? You also notice there's a little trash can there. We can actually add more buttons here. If I get enough time, I'll show you how to add those buttons, but I'd show you some more easy stuff that you're not, you know, I find these little buttons to be not as useful. I like to use the big buttons at the top, you know, categorize something. You know, I want to create a new category called, you know, from the boss, right? Important. And it's just picking colors. I can change those colors at any time. I can create shortcut keys for them, right? So if I create a shortcut key, Control F12, I can Control, and I know you can't see my keyboard, F12, and it'll turn it on and off. So real easy. Like I said before, you can have multiple categories for one email, so you don't have to stick to just one. And when you do your search, you can search for categories too. So there's a category search. Show me all the green ones. So show me all the important ones. So search is really nice when we categorize stuff to find things fast. Also, if you noticed in search, right, I can look for unread, I can look for flagged items. You can add more things to here, but important is probably the key one. A lot of people use important. When they send an email, it's important. So you can search for important, not search for high importance. One thing I know that a lot of people don't realize is, you know, we use high importance a lot. Has anybody used low importance? Like, hey, this isn't important. You know, coming to get donuts, not important. You know, mark it as low importance. You know, it does flag it when it gets sent to the person, and they can see that it's of low importance. It's not as, you know, it's not as important. You can see the little down arrow now that I got it. And then they can create rules around using low importance. It's a training thing, though. You have to teach people to do something like that. It's not something out of the box that people are going to think to use. So it's not as useful. So one thing I know we all do a lot is we have to schedule with people that are outside of our organization for meetings, right? It's pretty common. So if I was sending an email, Patty here, you know what? Let's send it to myself. So I need to schedule a meeting, right? And, you know, I just realized this doesn't have the most recent version on here. Oh, there it is. So I can insert my calendar here. So let's say I need to schedule a meeting for tomorrow with this person. I can show only my available times. I can even set my work hours. If I haven't done that already, I can set it in here that I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Maybe I don't work 8 to 5. Maybe I work 9 to 4. Maybe I don't want people scheduling me that last hour of the day. Oh. And then I have some advanced options. Not so many available for this one, but and then I can click OK, and it's going to insert into here a calendar for them to see when I'm busy or when I'm free, right? I've got some tentative stuff already scheduled for here. I've got some free time here. I've got free time here. Now it's not sharing with them what I'm doing or what's going on. It's just sharing that calendar. You know what? Let's do it the right way. Let's just undo it. By the way, it does include a calendar, so if they double click on it, it'll actually show it to them in a calendar that there's some time available and what's available for that day. So you can see it actually shared the calendar. Let's remove that. Let's go back to calendar. Let's do 7 days. And by the way, I can click on here and say, you know, available only. I can say full details, right? So if I say full details and now I insert that calendar, it's going to be a much bigger calendar, by the way. It's going to show the next 7 days, but it's going to show them every meeting that I'm having, right? And all the information underneath that meeting. Probably not something you want to send outside your company, but if you, maybe you're scheduling with your attorney or something like that, and you need to share some information, I don't know. But if there's ever a time, it's an availability to do that. By the way, these are hot links up here. So you can, it says on there, press Control and the button, and it'll jump down to that area. The end user won't have to hit the control button. If they hover over it, click on it, they'll see it. Notice I didn't check that box, so it's saying, well, hey, Saturday, I'm all day free. Come do whatever you want on Saturday and Sunday. I'm available. So really nice to be able to send out to somebody, send it to myself, get it in a second. And things are not normally this slow. This is it's a virtual desktop. It's just created for sampling. So then I get the meeting. I can scroll through and I can see all the stuff that she has available. Then I can schedule my meeting around that. Makes it a lot easier. Like, hey, when do you have some time available? What's available for you? So that's inserting of the calendar. And I'm not sure anybody has ever thought about this, but down here in your Outlook, there's a folder that's called search groups. One of the ones that a lot of people have or add quite frequently is unread email, right? So if you come down here to search group and you have unread email, this is now looking through all of my folders for all of my unread emails. If I want to, if that group doesn't exist, I just click on search folders, right click and say new search folder, and there it is, unread emails, and it'll add that search folder for me. There's all kinds of search folders in here. You can have a folder that looks for specific people, specific groups, things that are directed to me, sent to the public, large emails. This is for like looking for a size of file, old emails, older than a week, right? Emails with attachments. Maybe I want to see everything that has an attachment. I can click on that. It's going to show me all the emails that ever came to me that have attachments. Makes it really nice if you ever need to see that. So these are great little search folders down here, right? We can add more of them. All right, you can even do a custom search, but most people use the unread. That's probably the biggest one, and flag for follow-up is also pretty popular. Once I've created a search folder, I don't really want to scroll all this way down. That's what favorites are for, right? Favorites are great for this. So I can just take this follow-up, drag it up here. I'm just clicking on it, holding it down, bringing it all the way up, letting it go. Now I have it up there. I have it in my favorites. Let's say I don't want it in my favorites anymore. I can right click on it, remove from favorites. I put the required actions up in my favorites. Let's say I don't want it anymore. Remove from favorites. You know, but no, oh, I do want it back. You know, no problem. Put it back. Super easy, right? Easy stuff to do. But highly powerful because then your favorites become exactly what you're working on a day-to-day basis. One of the ones they put up there is put your sent items up here. I rarely look at my sent items, so I often remove this from my favorites. You know, my deleted items, I could care less. You know, I only care about what I want to work on, right? So maybe I have, you know, flagged for follow-up and requires action up there. Let's say I have a rule. Let's do that. Let's create a rule. So I'm going to create a folder here. I see a whole bunch of these blocked access emails. So let's create a folder called access blocked. Bam. And I'm going to go over it. I'm going to right click on it, right? Rule, and I'm going to create a rule. And it's going to say, well, how do you want, you know, what are the criteria for creating this rule? Well, it comes from 365. It contains the subject line. I'm not going to be this specific. I'm just going to say blocked. And then I'm going to say move, and it's going to say, well, what folder do you want to move it to? Well, inbox and blocked access, right? And I say, okay. It's going to say, do you want to run this right now? Yeah, run it right now. Boom. And it just moved all those over to my blocked access. You know, if I need to do it, I can put that in my favorites, right? So, hey, I need to look at my blocked access, right? So what if every time I had to work with a blocked access file, I had to do a couple steps, right? I had to do some steps afterwards. Like, okay, well, I looked at this policy. Yeah, I reviewed it. Okay, great. Then I gotta forward this to my boss. I gotta send this to Patty. Every time Patty needs this, you know, taken care of. It's pretty much the email I send Patty every time. And then I go in here and I put a category on here, and the category is new. It's called done. And I have a color on it that's like blue and okay. And so now it's got a category. And then additionally, I've created a subfolder here that's called done, and I move it to the subfolder, right? I did 3 steps. It took me a while to do. What if I could do all of that in one step? So that's what quick steps is for, right here. Nobody ever uses this big, huge feature right here in the center, right? So if I wanted to, let's create a quick step called access blocked dash done, right? And then I can choose all these actions. Well, I can move it to a folder. Yeah, let's do that. Let's choose the folder. So blocked access. I got to come in here and say blocked access done, more actions, right? Just to make sure I can mark it as read. I can add another access, another piece in here that says forward. Well, who do you want to forward it to? We always want to forward it to Patty, right? Show my options. I can even take the subject line and add done in text. I fixed this, right? So I now have when I send it and then add another action, what else did we do? We added a category, right? So category this message, what category? Done, right? I can't remember what else we did, but you get the idea. You can create all these nice little things and say finish. And so now I have one that says blocked access up here. Man, I don't want to have to scroll I don't want to have to come up here. This is a lot of work. That's good 20 seconds, maybe a second and a half, a couple milliseconds to go from here to here. But if I don't want to do that, I could right click, quick step, blocked access done. Boom. Pops up my email that I'm sending to Patty. Boom, send it off. It's now moved it over to done. Gave it the category and everything for me. Simple and easy, right? So this way I can do a whole bunch of them really fast, right? Quick access, boom. Yeah, Patty, that one's done. Do the next one. And I'm popping through them as, quick as they came in, right? So if there's a repetitive task that you're always doing, it's a great way to do it. Get everything moved out of your folders, right? And this way you're not having to repeat the same action over and over and over. Send to manager. Now, this is default one, so maybe I want to edit this, right? Because maybe this isn't my manager. Maybe it's somebody else. I can change it. So all I did was come over it, highlight over it, edit, change it. And these can be as quick and, as complicated or as you want. Like that blocked access, I had a whole bunch in there, but you can make them more or less complicated. You can even manage these quick steps, right? So if one of them doesn't work, you can delete it, right? So let's say, Teams email, I don't like that anymore. Just get rid of it. Just clean stuff up a little bit, shortens your space. So you can change things around. Let's say this move wasn't what I was looking for, right? I don't want to choose a folder. I want to have it already done. But what this is doing is it's just moved to a folder and it's allowing me to choose the folder on the fly. I just moved it back to the same folder. But cool little stuff, right? Like, oh, let's, Did we create two of them now? Oh, I relabeled it. But I mean, you can do anything you need to do with it. So these little quick access buttons are really easy to work with. Yeah, I changed it to move to block access. So it renamed it, move to block access. Quick steps are really fun. So as opposed to a rule, right? These rules, these are fixed and, they're things that I set, and I can end up with hundreds of these to move things to mailboxes and out of my inbox automatically, things that aren't important. But the thing with a rule is it just does it automatically. Quick steps is multiple, is something that I tell it to do, right? Send this to my manager. Okay, well, sure. So when I click on that the first time, it's going to ask me who my manager was, and then after that, it's locked in. Reply and delete. This is a great one, right? I'm going to reply back to the people. I don't want to put that in there because it's going to give me an error message. Send it off to Patty and send it, and then it's going to delete the email, so it's not there anymore. So just taking two steps and making one. Really nice and easy. Let's see. We went over cleanup. I don't know if we went over ignore yet. So if you have an email, like that donuts email, I think we put that in action required, right? No, where did we put our donut email at? See, one of the great things about forgetting stuff is you move them all around. So let's just go find it. There it is. So let's say I'm just tired of getting all these emails about this donut break room email. One thing I can do is come over here and click this ignore button. I don't know if I talked about this, but what it's going to do is it's going to move current and future messages directly to my trash. It's not going to allow me to see them anymore. Once I click ignore, it's going to ignore the conversation from then on out, and it's going to get them out of my inbox. Oh, it's already ignoring them. Oh, because we did it as a search, so it was searching them for me. But let's say I wanted to ignore something. You can easily just say, ignore this conversation, and any future emails that come in are automatically moved to your trash. You don't even see them. So anything on that topic or conversation line will automatically be moved off for you. Okay, we talked about changing the ribbons, forward as attachment. We talked about view, reply with meetings. We've talked about the search buttons and the favorites, right? By the way, all these chevrons are shrinkable, right? You have your online archive. This is in case you want something out of your inbox. If you don't want to get rid of it, you can archive it. But that doesn't move it to your online archive. It moves it to this archive. So just so you know, there are two archives. So this is still in my main mailbox. My online archive is something you set up in your admin settings to move things out of your inbox and into your online archive. Online archive, one of the nice features about that is it keeps your mailbox from growing out of control. So all your old emails end up down here. And when you search, I don't know if you've seen the new search, but the new search allows you to say, search all my mailboxes at one time. You know, I can search my favorites too. So just some new features they added into the search. And then if you click that button, you can do a more detailed search. Does it have an attachment? Yes. Who's it from? What date was it received? What's the subject? More options, you know. You can go in and put all kinds of stuff in there. I must be entertaining you guys because I still have 88 of you hanging around to watch this thing. So let's see what else we can talk about because we got another 9 more minutes. Just a refresher, guys. I'm Jon Balter. I'm with Seamless Solutions. You can find us on the web, or you can find me, jbalter@seamlesssolutions.com. Let me share that information with you just one more time since we're kind of coming to the end here. That's me, by the way. Hi. That's my contact information. Yeah, that's my real phone number. If you call me right now, you're not going to get me, but that's my real office line. It does forward to my cell phone. We are here to help out with any IT solutions or training needs that you guys have. My staff is highly skilled, and we really do handle a lot of customers, especially in the legal, transportation, medical, and manufacturing. Those are our 4 major verticals, but we handle everything. We've got some financial people and other things. All right, you've seen enough of that slide. Let's go back to taking a look at more of Outlook, and then we're going to wrap this thing on up. I hope this was entertaining or educational, maybe not as entertaining. I'm not a dancing bear. Sometimes I feel like one. By the way, you can see that same in your search. Remember how you can change it up here? The reason why is this used to be the way that you changed it was over here, and people didn't always see it. So, by the way, you can search the subfolders. Sometimes that doesn't show up over here on the search. I haven't quite figured out why that is, but you can choose it right there. So you normally don't see the search criteria unless you click search first, and then that bar will show up for you. One nice feature is if you haven't done this, and this is true for all Microsoft ribbons now, is you can customize your quick access bar really easily. So if I want to be able to print, or I want to save as, or I want to, delete, I can add those to up here. And that's really nice. This just sends and receives. That's by default. If you want to get rid of it, you can remove it. Most of us now on Microsoft 365 don't have to do this, so it's not really necessary anymore. But if you are still doing an old pop, you may want it. Empty deleted items. Sure, right? Add that as a quick button right up there. So just, the problem is if you make a delete and you delete the empty, kind of looks similar, but you can always add it, right? Add something in between, because it does add in the order that you put it on there. So you kind of got to get creative. So what I told it to do is show in the ribbon bar below, which adds another ribbon bar. It's not something I really like. I like it up here. I like it at the top. It uses less real estate. Here's the little button right here if you want to change your ribbon bar. So you can auto hide your ribbon bar. You can show as tabs. Right, show the commands, auto hide. I don't like auto hide, but if you like it, you can have it on if you like. I think we're out of time, guys. We're kind of reaching the last 5 minutes. So just to go over a quick review, right? We talked about all the different little functionalities and pieces. So now it's trying to auto hide my ribbon bar. We talked about your favorites and how you can move these around. Also you can come in here and you can move your folders around out of your alphabetical order. But if this gets annoying, especially like if you have customer files, just right click on here and say A to Z again, and it's going to re-alphabetize them, and then you can move the few that you want out of alphabetical order. Okay, and you can do that for any of the levels. You can even do that at the top level, and it'll move stuff around. So if you do it way up here, it moves everything around. It's going to keep your top ones together, and then it's going to alphabetize everything else. We didn't go over clutter today, but there's a lot of stuff on clutter. A lot of people turn it off. It's a setting that your admin can turn on or off. Focused and other. Focused are important emails that Outlook thinks are important, and other are emails that Outlook doesn't think are important. And you can make a decision whether or not you want that on or off. That's also a setting that you can change. Let's see, I think that's about it. We talked about quick steps. Man, I hope everybody starts using those. We talked about rules, how to create them. You can create them right here too. So you don't have to right click and go to create rule. If you have a hard time finding it there, there's a big button here, create rule. Then you can manage your rules. A lot of people don't rename their rules, but it's sometimes a good idea to change the name, because Outlook 365 rule doesn't tell me anything. Move block access to folder means a lot more to me. So if I ever need to find that rule, especially if I have hundreds of these rules. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of today. I'd like to say thank you for coming, and I hope that you join us for another webinar in the future, and that we're able to teach you more and show you more in the future. So I hope you have a great day, and that's all, folks.